All right, Heaviosity sale is on right now, and Damage 2 and Symphonic Destruction have been out for a while, and I just got copies of these sent to me for free. There's lots of reviews on both of these programs out there already, so let's just play around with it a little bit, kind of have a first look at it, and help you make the decision if this software is right for you. So, Symphonic Destruction, I just got this the other day, so I barely had time to play with it, but I'm already quite inspired by the sounds. There are other programs like this out there, but this one is doing some very different stuff and allows you a lot of access to dig in and design the sounds that they've got in here, which some of the other orchestral hybrid sort of instruments don't really allow you to do. So let's check out some of these sounds. Very nice. Okay, so we can see with this patch that I've got loaded up here, which is found under the performers. There's designers and performers. And so this one's found under the performers. It's just called traditional. And you see the categories here are like traditional orchestral sounds. Then we've got a bit hybrid stuff going on, which is a little more synthesized. Then we've got damaged and soundscapes and traditional pedals. And when you see the word pedal, pretty sure they're not referring to guitar pedals here, but they're referring to a drone type sound that would sit underneath. These ones you can see also we've got key switches, and I've got this loaded in complete control. So if I get up to the top, we can see our mapping of the key switches way up at the very top. And if I switch through these different key switches, you'll see that it's not necessarily all one instrument. So it's not like there's woodwinds and strings and brass and stuff like that. So if I go subdued tremolos, getting into the strings, go to the next one, that's where our woodwinds are. Next one is more strings. We got lyrical strings, lush strings, scanner groups. Not sure what that means. I like it though. So yeah, drone-y kind of stuff that we're finding in these performers. If we go over to something like damaged guitars, let's try that one. Go way down. A little bit different. And you can switch through the key switches just up here as well if I just click on them. And if we click this little drop down, then we get other kinds of rhythms, I guess. We can go to some triplet stuff. So there's the guitars. I'll probably just play those myself because I can still, rock a drop D tuning on a guitar every now and then. Soundscapes. Never done a horror soundtrack, but imagine this kind of software would be well suited towards a horror soundtrack. All right, so you get the idea. I'm going to go back to my traditional one here, and we'll go with this emotive woods, and I'm going to play something in for our first track here. Oh, I like the bottom of these. It's nice. So now to add some dynamics to that, I'm going to go through and I'm going to play with the mod wheel, which is controlling this dynamics thing in the middle. I'll skip ahead. All right, so we got some dynamics in there that's sitting as a layer on top. And then now I'm going to add I was thinking I'm going to add some low flutes from this, or low woodwinds anyways, from this same one. next patch I'm going to put in here is from the same category, so it's traditional, but this is the scanner groups. This one sounds kind of interesting as well. Just going to play some. Okay, so for the next patch that is pretty exciting, this one's found under traditional performer, but if I go to this little drop down right here, we can see shorts, sustains, and swells, etc. So you can have some crossover here with things like action strings. So these ones are a little different. You don't have the ability to go in and choose patterns like you would in action strings. It does have round robin though, so you can see the voices popping around, and you can choose things like how often the repeats are happening, and you can also choose where the accent is. On this one, I've got the accent placed on the third. The cool thing about playing with the accent on the third like that is watch what happens when I do some low strings, the high strings. Now watch what happens if I offset those. You get these multiple rhythms happening at the same time, just using one patch. So you can get some really inspiring sounds out of these strings. So let me play something in for that. Didn't go very well, but I did get the parts in, so I'm just going to go through and quantize those, clean them up a little bit, because these ones you definitely want quantized because they're going to be rhythmic on the beat, and it's going to be a mess if you don't do that. Next, we're going to go look at another patch here by Symphonic Destruction. This one is in the designer category. So if we go over to the designers, we can see we've got the regular designer, the Brahm designer, AA, and then we've got the SD loop designer, so the Symphonic Destruction loop designer, which is a way for you to add a whole bunch of loops, which we'll have a look at one of those in a minute. So let's just play with this patch. This one comes from the All-Stars category, so Deckard. So kind of a melodic lead thing out of this deep pad. Next thing I think we need to do is add some damage. All right, damage 2. Most people know about damage 1 because it's been around for so long. And if you have any version of Complete, I think if it goes way back, I can't remember when damage was first included in Complete, but it seems like it might have even been at the beginning. The Armageddon kit is, an all-time favorite. Everybody loves that one. And they've got Armageddon Kit 2 in here, and it sounds great. Where the original damage, you might have heard that sort of machine gun effect from the same sample being triggered. This one has a lot more of that kind of round robin stuff in it that makes it seem more realistic. It's also got things like you can go through and add crescendos and swells and flams and rolls. So let's go to this one right here. We're going to turn this one single note here, turn off the repeat so that it's just one hit. And then we're going to go to this one, which is the same hit, but it's on repeat right now. Let's go to a flam, which is kind of like hitting it with two mallets really close to each other, but not at the same time. Or you might want a roll. Turn off the performance on one, and then on the other one, we're going to turn it to roll. And if I want that roll to be even faster, now that I've got that roll faster, I can do it. I love that kind of stuff. Definitely need the single hit and the roll. And you see a lot of this kind of stuff in orchestral libraries with drums and stuff like that, but you don't usually have this level of customizability where you can go through, choose to have it sync to the tempo of your song and stuff like that, which is stuff that real percussionists would actually do. Anyways, let's put some drums in here and get this party going. So we've got Ensemble Designer, which gives us these multiple different sounds that we can load on these different keys down, and then they'll be represented down below. There's Armageddon 2. I like this. This feels more like usable percussion to me as opposed to a bunch of random really big sounds. I'm really liking. I want to keep this short, but I'll just show you a couple more things on damage too. If we go look over here, we've got the loop designer. I'm going to drag the loop designer onto this new track, and you'll hear that we've got all sorts of huge percussive things that we can put in there. And you can load all of these different loops onto the different keys. So not only do you have all these different loops, but they've also got a stutter key command thing down at the bottom. So if I go like this, and then we've also got transitions up at the top. So if I go to the very top here, so let's put one of those big transitions in at the very end. But the loop's definitely something to look at. And of course, you can take these loops and hack them up and start making them your own. But you do have the risk of, having the same sounds as everybody else. So I like to play things in a little bit more than use something like loops. But it doesn't mean you can't use a loop and get something fresh and unique out of it. So speaking of which, let's go look at the loops in Symphonic Destruction because they also have loops in them. And I found this fun little piano one in the Symphonic Destruction patch. So if we go to the loop designer, so there's a fun loop. If I take it down the octave, I can look at the notes at the very bottom and I can see these red keys at the bottom are going to control the fundamental note. So if I go, now I'm in C sharp, I'm in G, the song's in the key of C, so I'm going to put that at the beginning. So last thing we should do probably in this idea is get some of these Brahms in there. No, not Brahms, the composer. So I'm going to go over to Designer and we're going to go to Brahms Designer. So we got more of the pitch bendy kind. Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. Let's put that one in at the end. All right, last thing I'm going to do is load up one more damage kit. As you can see with damage content in here, we've got the organic stuff, we've got the huge taiko drums, we've got ethnic drums like darbukas, so smaller percussion, we've got cymbals and gongs and found sounds, plastic, trash can, hybrid hits, all sorts of different sounds in here. I think you're going to be covered with pretty much everything for your big orchestral stuff or big movie soundtrack kind of stuff with this program. Let's go to dumpsters. So I hope this was helpful. Show you a little bit more of these two programs that are on sale right now, which is great. And go check out the link below and then make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell. We'll see you in the next video.